Cathe Fish is a permaculturist who teaches people to garden, cook, and live in a way that conserves energy. She has taught many people in the U.S. how to do this, as well as going to other countries to teach them to use solar cooking.
You know, a lot of people like to work really hard doing stuff, but in permaculture we save a lot of our energy by how we design it right first from the beginning. And we do it in such a way that we use the least amount of energy possible.
Many things have encouraged Cathe to teach people permaculture. When she lived in Sun Valley, California as a child, her mother and father encouraged her to rely less on others and to make things rather than buying them. She moved to Oakland, California when she was 18, then lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a year. Cathe then moved to Bisbee, Arizona and raised some kids. There was a smelter in Douglas, Arizona, which was a town next to Bisbee. When Cathe took some friends up in her plane, they were disgusted by the smog from the smelter. They formed a group called GASP, or Groups Against Smelter Pollution. The state eventually shut down the smelter, and since then, Douglas has become a prosperous town. Cathe has done many great things to help the world. In 1987, Cathe took permaculture classes. She now teaches permaculture to many people. Cathe became part of an association called Solar Cookers International. This association helps people who have to look for water and wood by showing them how to use solar ovens. Cathe has taught people in Africa and refugees in Jordan that are escaping the Syrian government.
They're given like $1 a day, and the charcoal and the food and water cost more than $1 a day, so they're going to have to walk for something. So if you give them a solar cooker, teach them how to use it with the right kind of pans and stuff, then they don't have to walk at all, and they don't need fuel, and they can still cook their food and have water for their kids and their family. I'd say a third of the people in the world have to take walks for 4 to 5 miles a day to find firewood or to find clean water. Even then, they don't know if it's clean water. So they'll walk for 5 hours to get the wood, walk again, how many miles? 2 to 5 miles to get water. And so solar cooking is a way to alleviate that so that they don't have to do that walking. Because it's really scary out there, especially in Africa where there's these gangs and, there's so much civil war and civil unrest. And these women and even their children can get raped, so we don't want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we've been training people around the world how to teach solar cooking.
Cathe teaches people about rocket stoves as well. Rocket stoves are really good for cooking when it's cloudy outside because they don't rely on the sun and it uses 1/10 of the wood that a normal fire does. Rocket stoves are also really good for heating your house through something like a bench. Cathe teaches people to build houses in a way that uses less energy to heat and cool. She teaches people to have windows that face south to let heat in when it's winter, and an overhang that keeps the sun out in the summer. She teaches what methods you should use in different climates as well.
I mean, it's crazy when you know it's warm outside and you're sitting in your house freezing. That's nuts. I'll tell you about this group in Mexico, across the border, in Mexico from Arizona. They invited me to come down there and teach. And then we were building some swales and sheet mulch gardens in the backyards. And I was kind of blown away that they have the same temperatures as I had when I lived in Arizona. And they live in uninsulated houses with roofs that don't have any insulation, so they're freezing in the winter and cooking in the summer. Yet they wanted to learn permaculture.